Welcome to Gamerati News Update on YouTube. This week we have a new RPG edition, miniature news, horror scenarios for Call of Cthulhu, and medieval board games. The One Ring RPG from Cubicle 7 gets a second edition, and this will be the cover of the new edition, now called The One Ring, The Lord of the Rings role-playing game. This amazing cover art was made by Johan Grenier. The 352-page core book features updated rules based on years of feedback, stunning new art, and a beautifully illustrated map of Middle-earth. In this new edition, the years have advanced and we're now closer to the events of The Lord of the Rings, as the new RPG title suggests. Besides a complete set of rules for role-playing in Middle-earth, the One Ring, The Lord of the Rings role-playing game comes with character generation and fellowship creation rules, description of 11 cultures and 6 different callings for characters, a bestiary and tips for running stories that feel like The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. The chronology of the first edition of The One Ring started right after the fall of Smaug and the aftermath of the Battle of the Five Armies. Bilbo has returned to the Shire, but much danger still remains. From the orc holds in the mountains to the dark and corrupt depths of Mirkwood, a darkness awaits. The new edition covers from the death of Smaug to the year 2065 of the Third Age. Paizo has announced that Archon Studios will take over the license for Starfinder Masterclass miniatures from Ninja Division. As part of the agreement, Archon Studios will fulfill backer reward for the Starfinder Masterclass miniatures Kickstarter. Archon Studios will move production from resin miniatures to plastic. They will also start over with the Kickstarter fulfillment, which means that backers who have already received resin miniatures from Ninja Division will receive those minis again from Archon Studios, this time in plastic. Archon Studio will also create new Starfinder Masterclass miniatures. Each month, they plan to produce 4 or 5 of the miniatures announced during the Kickstarter, plus 1 brand new miniature. These figurines will be available for sale at your friendly local game store from archon-studio.com and from paizo.com. Those are only for the new miniatures though, as the Kickstarter exclusive Candy, Cola, Scylla the Paladin and Epic Obazaya will not be available at retail. Archon Studio plans to ship Kickstarter rewards in waves. Approximately every 6 months, the pledge rewards produced during the previous 6 months will be shipped to backers free of charge. Additionally, any time a Kickstarter backer purchases any Starfinder miniature from Archon Studio, whenever it's a new miniature or a duplicate of the Kickstarter, they will also ship any released Kickstarter miniatures due to that backer for no additional charge. Details of which minis are shipping and when, and how to purchase other miniatures will be posted on the Kickstarter page for Starfinder Masterclass. Chaosium has given us a sneak peek at the next scenario for Call of Cthulhu, Gateways to Terror, 3 Evenings of Nightmare. This book will bring a trilogy of scenarios featuring the writing talents of Lee Carr, scenario contest winner, author of The Necropolis, John Hook, who cut his teeth in Age of Cthulhu, The Shadow over Providence, and the Miskatonic University podcast, and Chaosium's own Todd Gardner. So far, we only have the cover art to drool on, from the mind of Chris Huth, whose work you might be familiar with if you know the books of the 13th Age Galantra, also by Chaosium. We can expect Gateways of Terror, 3 Evenings of Nightmare by early 2020. Speaking of Call of Cthulhu scenarios, The Shadow over Providence is already available, written by the aforementioned John Hook of the Miskatonic University podcast, with artwork and maps by Matt Ryan. The Shadow over Providence is a new Call of Cthulhu scenario set in a venue that may be strangely familiar to anyone who has visited Providence's iconic Graduate Providence Hotel. Chaosium will have a limited quantity of special print copies of The Shadow over Providence for purchase at Necronomicon 2019. Then the PDF will be available from Chaosium's website and DriveThruRPG. Swedish Free League Publishing, known for awesome RPGs such as Tales from the Loop, Coriolis: The Third Horizon, Mutant Year Zero, and many others, has partnered with Paradox Interactive to make Crusader Kings, a board game of feats of arms, backstabbing, and love affairs of medieval Europe. Based on the strategy video game series, in Crusader Kings, the board game, your king or queen will need to survive the dangers of invasions, plots, crusades, and marriage. You will find that the life of a medieval ruler is full of challenging events, and if your ruler cannot survive, at least you can count on your heir. Hopefully, failure to raise a suitable successor could bring about the end of your dynasty, leaving you a mere footnote in your nation's history. The game was showcased at Gen Con, both in Free League and Paradox's booths, and is already for sale from Free League webshop. I hope you enjoyed the gaming news from this week. I'll be back in 7 days with more news here on YouTube, and from Monday to Friday with 1-minute videos on twitter.com/Gamerati and facebook.com/Gamerati. I also invite you to subscribe to the Gamerati newsletter. There is a link for it in the video description below. Hope to see your name there soon. Bye bye.